is the second part of your IXL help sheet for the week. We're doing U5 and U6. So right now this is U6. U6, combine sentences using relative clauses. Okay, so what is a relative clause? It is a dependent clause, which means it needs somebody to lean on. It can't stand on its own. That functions as an adjective. A relative clause usually begins with a relative pronoun, who, whom, whose, which, or that. Okay, really fast. What's an adjective? An adjective is a word that provides more information about the noun or pronoun that it follows. So if the relative clause is functioning as an adjective, it means that we're using this little dependent clause to give more information about a noun. So what we're going to need to know in this is noun, which is a person, place, or thing, and adjective, which is the word that provides more information about the noun. So I think I've decided that the best way to show you guys how to do this is to actually do a little bit of IXL with you. So hold tight while we pop over to IXL. All right, here we are at IXL. As you can see, I've tried a couple questions. I think you guys are going to have a pretty easy go of this because all they're asking you to do is take the sentence that they give you and convert it into a sentence that has a relative clause. So what they kind of want you to do is take the first and the second sentence and combine them into one sentence, which is going to be really great for your writing because it's going to smooth out some of that choppiness that sometimes comes with multiple sentences. So relative clauses, which are dependent clauses that function as adjectives and modify the noun or make the noun, give more information about the noun, really help make your writing a lot smoother, a lot nicer, and it's going to improve the overall sound of your academic writing. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Frank W. Grosso co-authored a study on octopuses, or octopi, if you really want to be grammatically correct. He found that the skin on an octopus's arms prevents its suckers from attaching to itself. That's very interesting. I didn't know that. So what we want to do is we want to write a relative clause that combines these two sentences. So Frank W. Grosso co-authored a study on octopuses. All right, so we have that interesting little piece of information. And what they're kind of wanting us to do is say, Frank W. Grosso, who co-authored a study on octopuses. So we're just going to type that in there. Co-authored a study on octopuses. All right, so there's our relative clause. We know that it is a relative clause because it begins with that who word. So we know that the different words that you can use for beginning a relative clause are who, whom, whose, which, or that. So we see that who word right there. And then it actually modifies Frank W. Grosso. So Frank is the noun. And then we have turned this dependent clause into an adjective because it modifies that noun and makes it, gives it more information. So I'm going to submit that and see if I'm right. Woohoo, doesn't that feel good? All right, what I'm going to do now is skip up to one of those high levels so that you guys know what it looks like to do a difficult one on IXL. So, armed poachers seeking valuable ivory tusks regularly hunt down African elephants. African elephants are endangered. All right, so they give us armed poachers seeking valuable ivory tusks regularly hunt down African elephants, which are endangered. Did I spell that all right? That's one thing that they'll get you for. If you don't spell it right, they'll mark it wrong. So make sure you've got that spelling correct. Let's submit. Awesome. I'm going to jump one more level to show you the hardest. Ooh, we're in the challenge zone. Okay. Brian O'Hanlon wants to expand sustainable aquaculture around the world. Okay. His company runs a huge open ocean fish farm. All right. So now we want to come up with that dependent clause that links these sentences together. So Brian O'Hanlon wants to expand sustainable aquaculture around the world. All right, we see that in the second part of what they've given us, wants to expand sustainable aquaculture around the world. So we can assume that they want us to put this little piece in as the dependent clause that modifies the noun Brian O'Hanlon. It gives us more information about Brian O'Hanlon. So we're going to say whose company runs a huge open ocean fish farm. Cool. Let's see if we're right. Oops. Oh, that would have been such a bummer. Whose company runs. Like I said, make sure you check your spelling. All right, let's see if we're right. All right, it's your turn. Go ahead and go do this. Those are the easy, medium, and hard level questions. And if that was the hard level question, then you guys should be good to go. This is going to be super easy for you. Happy IXLing.